other things that we need to know in order to promote Flinders to our prospective students. Okay. So first of all, some recap or like a refresher or new for newcomers that the location. For Flinders University, we are in South Australia, in Adelaide. And in Adelaide, we have 3 campuses, so we can look closer to the location of our 3 campuses. So this is the simplified map of Adelaide, and you can see we have the coastline along the west and also the hill along the east. So actually it's a very good place to live in. And there are 3 campuses. The first one is the Bedford Park campus. So this is the main campus of Flinders University. And you can see from the pictures, we have a very large space in the campus with beautiful lake and sceneries. And most courses will be held or will be conducted in the main campus. And the second one is the Tonsley campus, which is just around 5 minutes away from the Bedford Park main campus. And this is located in the Tonsley Innovation District. So it's a district that the government is developing to to drive the development of the innovative industries like IT, computing, engineering, etc. And for our IT and engineering and mathematics students, they mainly will study in the Tonsley campus. And I will talk some more about it later when I'm talking about IT and engineering. And last but not least is the Victoria Square campus. So this is the main, this is the CBD campus. So our campus located in the city center. And this is mainly for our postgraduate business students. So these are the 3 campuses in Adelaide, which is very convenient because we are having our train line is already open. Students are now commuting between 3 campuses very conveniently with our train line. So you can see from this map, from Adelaide City Centre, we have the Adelaide Railway Station. There is a train line going to the Tonsley campus, and the last station is the Flinders main campus. And this is just next to our teaching hospital, Flinders Medical Centre, very close to our Bedford Park main campus. Students can walk, or they can also take the very fast express free loop bus that for our students, they can take the bus from the Flinders station to the main campus, or they can also walk. It's very easy. So this is some pictures about our Tonsley station and Flinders station. So it's super convenient for students to commute between where they live and where we are, and depending on the course they study. And also very convenient, apart from train, we also got different bus routes to go around the campuses and other suburbs and the city center. So it's very convenient. The train from the city to the Flinders station is around 20 minutes. So it's very close, and also students can enjoy half price of the standard fare if they have a student card and buy the metro card to take on the public transportation. So it's also very welcoming to our international students to Adelaide to study. And for the campus looking, so this is part of the corner of our Bedford Park main campus because it's quite large. So in this picture, we actually cannot see the whole area. So this is some of our teaching building and student facilities. And you can see at the Bedford Park campus, we have the plaza, student hub, and some teaching buildings for humanities, social sciences. And then beyond the lake, so behind the lake, actually, we have all other teaching buildings as well. And then the Flinders Medical Centre here is our teaching hospital, and we are the only one in South Australia having the on-campus teaching hospital that is a very good environment for our especially medicine and nursing and health science students. So they will have very like just next to our real environment, they have their teaching space. So it's an excellent environment for students to learn and also gain clinical experience. For their placement, they will have that in the center, or they will have that in other public hospitals or clinical settings around Adelaide. So to maximize their exposure to different kind of like setting of the health professions. And also we have the big Marion Shopping Centre, which is the largest one in the South Adelaide area. Is around only 10 minutes bus ride from the main campus to the shopping center. So also very convenient to our students. And we have Tonsley campus, I just mentioned, which is 5 minutes away from the main campus. And we also got the Flinders Living that we are the only one in SA as well, having the on-campus living accommodation option for our student to choose. So if they want to stay on campus, this is their option as well. And this picture is just quickly showing you the whole area. So as I mentioned, up beyond the lake, actually there are another large area. So this is showing the whole area of the Bedford Park main campus and some of the Tonsley campus. And as I just mentioned about the Flinders Living, so we have two types of living accommodation options for our students. For University Hall is like a catering or one Monday to Friday, free meals included accommodation plan, while the village type is more for independent students that they will do their cooking and cleaning, etc. by themselves. And these are some on-campus accommodation options for our students. So they can either choose to stay on campus, or if they want to rent some places around the campus or near the public transportation station or bus stop, it's also very convenient. So, and also the price of the renting usually is lower than in the city center. So it's also very good for our students to have a more flexible budget. And about Adelaide, so we are located in the Adelaide, which is the South Australian capital. And we recently have been ranked #1 most livable city in Australia and top 3 in the world. And also we are the #1 affordable city in Australia as well. So both affordable and livable. So it's like a super, like a perfect combination that is livable while affordable. And then we have the name of 20-minute city because the structure of the city planning is quite clear and also quite easily structured and navigate. So we are called like 20-minute city that is easy to get around different parts of the city and around the suburbs. And also our climate is the Mediterranean climate, which is very mild. We have like a dry summer, which is very comfortable. And also in winter, it's not super cold, that we don't have snow, maybe around single-digit degrees Celsius in the winter, but not super cold. So it's also a very good place for students to live and study in. And also in terms of COVID, we are also having a good control so far, touch wood. For example, in the past couple of weeks, other states may have some little outbreaks of the Delta variant, while the SA government has been putting precautions before any cases appear in Australia, South Australia. So we are like lucky to keep in control that we don't need to be in like a serious situation, and also hopefully for other parts of Australia and also in the world, hopefully that situation will improve very soon. I understand many of you are in different part of the world, and hopefully the situation will get better soon for all of us. And also for additional work-wise in South Australian university graduates, that you may notice student will have the extra 1 year if they study, for example, study at Flinders, and then they get the first 485 post-study work visa and stay in South Australia, then they are eligible to apply for extra 1 year. And also for example, if some of you may be handling Hong Kong students' applications, then they having a Hong Kong passport may be eligible for up to 5 years of post-study work visa. And of course, please refer to the DHA website for details about visas. And I believe Yes Education will also be able to answer questions about visa. But the extra 1 year incentive is also very good for students to attract them to choose Flinders and to choose the study in Australia, in Adelaide and in Flinders. So next part, it will be some key points and selling points of why choosing Flinders University. So as Ivy mentioned about the ranking, that we are top 2% worldwide and also 43 in the Asia Pacific. employment rate and also the starting salary, full-time employment is also very good. That some of the criteria, we are ranked #1 among the SA universities or even #2 in Australia. And also teaching hospital that I just mentioned, I will also mention more when they're talking about nursing. And one thing to highlight is over 70% of our program include placement, or we call it work integrated learning, which means that in the students' program of study, in some of their subjects or topics that they study, actually the whole subject will be placement. And if they have placement in their part of their program, that will be organized or will be coordinated by the college. So students won't be needing to find by themselves, and the college will be allocating placement to our students depending on the program that they are studying in. For example, if some programs that need placements, for example, nursing or some professional degrees that is for their registration later on, definitely is included in the program. And also the college is the one to help students to allocate to the appropriate placement position. For some other courses, for example, IT, engineering, and business, we also have placement, and it's a guaranteed placement. They don't need to compete their GPA. They don't need to to apply or find them by themselves. As long as in their program, one of the subjects is placement, then it will be a placement subject that the college will be coordinating all those. And so this is something that is really good, that we are focusing on students' learning and also give excellent support to our students. And some other highlights on particular subject areas, while I will be talking about different subject areas later on, but in terms of some highlights, for example, in the nursing and medicine program, we are very strong. Top 10 medical program in Australia and top 30 nursing program in the world. So the latest ranking out just now, very good outcome for our nursing school. And also for our creative arts and illustration, we are the world's #1 digital illustration school in the past few years, and also always be in the top 10 for our illustration and graphic design school. And also in the computing and engineering, in terms of overall experience and learning resources, we also rank #1 in Australia. So these are some of the key selling points that attract students to consider Flinders as their next destination of study. And for scholarships, also we have different tiers of scholarships that attract students to apply. Apart from Vice Chancellor Scholarship, all of them actually will be automatically assessed, that when students apply for a particular course, as long as it's in the scholarship scheme, we will automatically assess their eligibility for the scholarship. And if they are eligible, if they can get the scholarships, we will automatically include the scholarship information in the offer letter. And for the Vice Chancellor Scholarship, which is the 50% of the full duration scholarship scheme, this one will need an application form for further assessment, but don't worry about that at the moment. If students want to be assessed for this one, they can still lodge the application for the course first. When we receive the course application, then we will automatically assess the first stage whether student will be meeting the first criteria of the VC scholarship. And if the student is eligible, we will invite the student to apply through submitting a VC scholarship application form. So at the first stage, don't worry too much about applying scholarships. They can lodge the application for the course first. And if they are eligible for the top tier, they will be invited to apply via providing the application form. So don't worry too much about the scholarship applications, and for details always can refer to the website, and we have all the updates and the T's and C's on the website. And also for these scholarships, we will be running for a considerably long time, that for the July intake, March and July next year and beyond, we will be applying these scholarship schemes, and there may be some amendment or review over the time, but the structure or the main idea of scholarship will remain for the coming intakes. And some programs may not be included in the scholarship scheme, not many. For undergraduate, mainly the medicine, optometry, and nursing programs are not included in the scholarship scheme. And then for postgraduate will be mainly the allied health programs, medicine, and social work is not included. But occupational therapy and nutrition and dietetics are included. It's just a couple of programs that are excluded from the scholarship scheme. So student can apply for the course first, and we will be automatically assessing the scholarship eligibility. And another thing that I would like to kind of like summarize to facilitate you guys promoting Flinders is graduate entry courses. So students may ask, if I don't have a relevant background in my bachelor degree, but I want to change study area in my master's study. So what can I choose? And for Flinders, actually, we have quite a number of courses that students can choose, even they don't have relevant background. So the most popular ones will be, for example, medicine, audiology and speech pathology, which is allied health programs, and our nursing course. So for nursing, they may need to do a short course to fulfill a particular requirement, but in general, if their major is not related to health sciences or nursing or science, it's okay to apply for Bachelor of Nursing graduate entry. And I will talk more about that later on. And also for creative arts, for example, Master of Screen and Media Production is also one of the very popular programs among international students that we don't require relevant background and also portfolio to enter this program. And also teaching in early childhood and primary, that we don't require students to have particular background to apply for this. IT master as well, and also most of our business courses. So students may choose these as their options if they want to change their field of study, that they are worried whether programs need relevant background. These are some options for them, that we don't need a relevant background or major in their bachelor degree in order to apply for these programs. And also another question from student is about GPA requirements. So again, we most of our courses, we don't have GPA requirement for entry, but of course, if they want to apply for scholarship, then yes, we have GPA requirement. But for entry, most of the courses, actually, we do not have a GPA requirement, including recently we removed GPA requirement for social work, medicine, engineering, and biotechnology. So it's more flexible for students to get into these programs. And it's just teaching, we need an overall pass, and most of the, sorry about this, this is a typo that I will need to remove that. Most of the allied health programs, we have the GPA requirement, but apart from that, all of them, we do not have a GPA requirement for entry. And another thing, just quickly recap about the English requirement. So apart from widely accepted IELTS, TOEFL, and other English tests, for the coming July intake and also S1 2022 intake, we also accept Duolingo for most of the courses except nursing. And also students may be able to meet English requirement based on their previous studies, for example, tertiary qualification in an English-speaking country, or like Australian Year 12, etc. And we will be assessing that upon receiving the application. And some students may need to package with EDICOS providers, and these are the providers that we recognize. Some of them can package to overall 7 level. Some of them will be can be packaged to IELTS or Band 7. So depending on the course that the student want to apply for, and also which package they want to go to. And just a recap about our program that requires IELTS all 7s. Apart from nursing, that student will need to provide IELTS or recognized English tests before they start the course as per the nursing board requirements. For teaching and social work, successfully completing the EDICOS program, that with the required score will automatically meet English, that they don't need to provide an IELTS separately. So that one is a direct entry from the EDICOS to the teaching or social work program. So this is something that I would like to highlight to all of you. And for packaging, when you are doing the application with Yes Education, please submit the application to Flinders first to get the conditional offer, and then to contact the EDICOS provider for the packaging. So student will need to apply to Flinders first. So in the first step, please contact Yes Education to submit the Flinders application first to get it assessed. And the next part is I'm going to talk about study areas, and I will be focusing on nursing, health science, social work, engineering, and IT today. But of course, if you have other students or question about the study areas that I didn't cover today, please feel free to ask in the Q&A, or later on, feel free to contact Yes Education to ask the question about other study areas if there's any questions coming up. So today I'm going to talk about those highlighted study areas. And first of all is the nursing program. So as I just mentioned, we are ranked top 30 in the world for our nursing program. And we are one of the first nursing schools in Australia and one of the largest nursing school as well. So we have extensive experience in teaching nursing or nurse professions. So we are definitely one of the very good choice for students to choose if they want to study nursing in Australia. And we have, apart from the teaching hospital, we also have clinical labs and stimulation wards to have our student learning in the way that they can quickly catch up with what they need to become a professional nurse. And you can see from the pictures that we have the stimulation in our campus that students can practice what they need to do before they go on to the placement in the real hospital setting. And also we are using some high-end technology to help students to kind of like having some stimulation and practice of the nursing setting before they go on to the real situation in the real hospital when they are on placement. And we have placement from year 1, and we'll be adding hours in year 2 and year 3 if they are 3-year program. And so they will have experience or the exposure of the clinical setting very beginning from year 1. And so the next slide is about video, but I'm not going to show the video today, but I just want to highlight to you that we do have excellent videos on YouTube that please feel free to watch on the YouTube channel. And I'm going to share that in the chat box so that you can have a watch later on that showing the excellent facilities for our nursing and midwifery learning students. So I just share the link on the chat box. Feel free to watch it later on. And yeah, and next I would like to talk more about the entry requirements so that you can better counsel the students about if they want to come to Flinders to study Bachelor of Nursing. So in Flinders, we have 2 streams of Bachelor of Nursing. One is graduate entry, another one is pre-registration. So graduate entry is mainly for students who have a bachelor degree. No matter what discipline, they can apply for the 2-year course, including if for Bachelor of Nursing student that is the degree not recognizing in Australia, they can also apply for the 2-year graduate entry. And we have a prerequisite that which is equivalent to 4.5 unit of study about body structure and function. But if student doesn't have this kind of study in their bachelor, they can still apply first. And then if they can get the conditional offer, they can study one of the short courses that we recognize, for example, Monash or La Trobe short course to meet the requirement. So don't worry too much about not having any background. They can still apply first, and then if they meet the requirement pending certain conditions, they will receive a conditional offer. And for the pre-registration 3-year program is mainly for students who have a high school qualification, or they are doing their bachelor study, but they are not planning to complete that and they want to transfer. This is also acceptable. And we don't have prerequisite or subject specific requirement for the 3-year program. So in other words, no matter what background the student has, they can apply for the 3-year program. For example, student graduate from a diploma of business, applying for a 3-year program, no problem, because we don't have any prerequisite requirement and they don't need to do a short course to fulfill the requirement. As long as their qualification is like a year 12 high school or like Cert 4 diploma or year 1 of another school's bachelor degree, they can apply for the 3-year program. And for the English requirement, mainly students will be meeting that through the English test that is recognized by the Nursing and Midwifery Board Australia. And of course, if students haven't got the English test yet, they can still apply first to get it assessed and get a conditional offer, and at the same time to prepare for the English. And for onshore students or for students that planning to do like nursing in Australia, if they want to start from diploma first, then some of them actually will get both the diploma of nursing in Australia and then become an enrolled nurse in Australia as well. So if that's the case, if a student is an enrolled nurse, we won't require student to provide English tests because technically we will assume the student when they are going through the enrolled nurse registration, APRA or the recognition body has already checked the student's English proficiency. So if a student is a onshore, for example, diploma of nursing graduate, have an enrolled nurse status, this status will meet the English requirement. They don't need to provide another English for us to enter the program. And in case you may have students who study 6 years in an English-speaking country, at least 2 years of the 6 years in the secondary school level. This may also meet the English requirement. And if you have these kind of students, please provide the relevant document to show that the duration of the study and the level of study in those English-speaking countries. And also for credit, again, because the nursing board has changed their criteria. So in the past, we can recognize the overseas diploma or the overseas nursing registration and working experience as meeting the credit assessment criteria, but now unfortunately is no longer applicable. So for students having Bachelor of Nursing in an overseas country, overseas qualification that is not recognized in Australia, they can just apply for the 2-year program. And if they have a diploma, then they will need to submit all the subject syllabus for assessment, and highly likely they won't be able to get the 1-year exemption. While if they have a diploma that is recognized by the nursing board in Australia and also having the enrolled nurse status, then there will be very high chance of getting 1-year credit exemption. And also, just to highlight about the onshore partnership, that we are partnering with different nursing diploma of nursing providers in Australia, for example, Equals institution, that if students are finishing the diploma of nursing in our partner providers and have a nursing enrolled nurse status, that they get 1-year credit, they will also have a special scholarship in the nursing program. So normally nursing is not in the Go Beyond scholarship, but if they are coming through one of our recognized partner providers, the nursing diploma and the enrolled nurse status, then they will be eligible for a special scholarship. So this is some information that specifically relevant to onshore students or students who have been doing nursing diploma or sub-degree studies in Australia. So talk about nursing, then now is moving to health sciences, which is also another very popular area in Flinders. And overall, the health science industry is developing very, very quickly. And professions in these fields are always in high demand. And we have excellent academic and also support into our students. And to highlight one is about our Flinders Health to Co clinic. And this is an on-campus clinic that is a student-led clinic faced to the public. So people from around Adelaide can appoint or to make an appointment for different health services, just like hearing, physiotherapy, speech pathology, vision, optometry, etc. They can make appointment to have the service if they need the health service. And in the clinic is our students who are under the supervision of the teachers that they provide the service to our clients. So this is actually a very good environment for our students to have the real experience of treating patients or to have the clinical settings that they need to expose. And this is not necessarily a placement, but something on top of that. So this is one of the very good edge for our Flinders students, that apart from some standard placement that they may be having exposure in other health settings, in this clinic that is on campus Flinders Clinic, that they will have additional clinical exposure and experience that they can gain that is only exclusive to our Flinders students. So this is also a very, very good environment, and they will have interaction with other health professionals as well, which is also a very good experience, because when moving forward to the job settings, all the professions in health sciences, they must communicate and cooperate with other health professionals so as to treat the patient. So this is also giving them an excellent environment to early experience how that will work when you are doing as a one of the professionals, but at the same time, you need to work with others so as to treat a patient's case. And again, and there's another video that is also very good to show what we are doing in the Flinders Health to Go clinic. But again, because of the time, I won't be showing that here, but I would greatly encourage all of you to watch that later on. So to have a more concrete idea of what we are doing in the Flinders Health to Go clinic. So please feel free to watch that later on. And for our health science courses, because this is one of the very strong areas, we have different courses for our students to choose. And many of them are professionally accredited or recognized in Australia, or some of them are recognized internationally. So this is also kind of promising to students after their graduation. They can gain professional accreditation or professional the status of becoming that particular job or particular area of practitioner. So for example, in the undergraduate programs, we have the nutrition and dietetics, speech pathology, and exercise science. And also we have some 3+2 programs that lead into physiotherapy, occupational therapy, optometry, etc. And the flexibility is that all of them, we don't have interview or prerequisites. So mainly will be really big depending on the overall performance of the students' previous qualification. And then it will be the main criteria for us to assess students' entry into the course. So it's very flexible for students to choose Flinders Health Science courses in their undergraduate studies. And also for master, again, we have different options as well. For example, the one that I've been mentioning before, the audiology and speech pathology, that we don't need any prerequisites. And some other, for example, nutrition, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, they can also choose. And also other area like clinical rehabilitation and doctor of medicine. So again, apart from doctor of medicine, all of them, we don't have interview requirements, and some of them also we don't have prerequisite requirement. But of course, for GPA, mainly allied health programs, we will need GPA for that. But again, overall, it's a relatively flexible entry requirements for our students, so as to facilitate students to choose what they want to do in the future studies. And next, I will talk about social work. Is also another popular area that students would like to ask. And for Flinders, we have 1,000 hours of intensive placement in our Master of Social Work graduate entry program. So in 2 semesters, each will be 500 hours. And graduates are eligible for applying for the AASW status for the membership, becoming a social worker. And we are one of the very first in Australia to provide this degree to international students. So we have experience quite extensively in terms of educating our international students as becoming a social worker. And this one, I think of us notice that this has been a higher demand profession in Australia. So in terms of graduation outcome or like a visa options later on for social work graduates is also very promising. And just to highlight something about the entry requirement, that we will need to see the student to demonstrate 1 year full-time study in social and behavioral sciences, according to the Academy of Social Science in Australia definition. So if student would like to apply for social work, then they will need to provide the transcript so that we can have a look. We'll see whether they have the relevant studies in their bachelor degree. And also we will need the English to be IELTS or or they need to package at a course if they want to. And again, no GPA requirement that we recently removed that. And apart from master, we also got the social work 4-year program that is also available for students. And if the student would like to apply for the bachelor, it is also available in 2 intakes, and it is in the scholarship scheme. So only the master 2 years is not in the scholarship, the bachelor is in the scholarship. And last but not least is the IT and engineering that I would like to highlight to you. So at Flinders, all our IT and computer science programs are recognized by the Australian Computer Society, while for the engineering one will be the Engineers Australia recognized programs. So we have some new programs in these areas that they are all designed to meet those accreditation requirements, and the accreditation is in progress to be confirmed very soon for our new courses. For our existing courses, they are all recognized by relevant accreditation body. And also for those programs, apart from Australia, through those are called internationally, they will also be recognized around the world. For example, in Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, Canada, Korea, UK, etc. For those countries or regions that they have signed the accord, they will also recognize each other's degrees. So for the Flinders graduates, the degree not only is recognized in Australia, but also in other countries around the world. And about the campus, I will talk about in the next slide that the Tonsley campus that mainly for IT engineering and mathematics students, that we have excellent teaching facilities on campus. And also for the industry experience or placement, we have a 12-week placement for our IT and computing UG students, undergraduate students, and also engineering postgraduate students. And the longest one for engineering undergraduate students, we have 20 weeks. So which is very good because longer placement allows students to have more time to develop their project and to gain solid experience, because sometimes if it's too short, after they warm up or introduced to the company, it's already about the end of the placement period. So a long placement is good for our students in terms of solidating their learning in their placement project. And for our postgraduate IT courses, we also have a master project component, which we are having live industry projects in collaboration with industry partners for them to have some experience about doing, like for example, tackling a live real problem of that particular company, and then they are going through those steps to tackle that problem and make a proposal or make a solution of those problems. So this is some of the examples that students will also gain real experience when they are studying our postgraduate IT and computer science courses. And this is one of our very beautiful pictures of the Tonsley campus. And the Tonsley campus is located in the Tonsley Innovation District that there are many innovative and like a digital and computer companies that they have offices in this district. And also they have like other development area like the residential area, shopping center, other facilities around that area, which is kind of like a hub and a second hub apart from the city center. So this is also very good, especially for our IT engineering students, with very close location with different companies, and also some of the facilities they may share with the company to use, so that student will actually have a very early taste of what the real industry or the industry partners, what they are using, what they're doing right now, student will have experience and exposure right at the beginning of their course with us at Flinders. So it's also a very like kind of good, or like the strengths, one of the strengths for students to study IT engineering at Flinders. And here are some key specializations in our IT and engineering areas. So you can see many of them are quite kind of new or modern topics, for example, AI, cybersecurity, data science, etc. And also for engineering, the main fields we have that options. Many of them are on the skill list that is in high demand in Australia as well. So it's also a very good options for students to choose from if they're going to do IT or engineering in Flinders. And for our software engineering, it's a double accreditation program that is accredited both by the Engineer Australia and also the ACS, because it's like a software engineering program. It's a double accreditation course. So these are the options that student can choose. And also I will highlight some more about the IT side of the programs that we have rolled out a few new master courses in the IT and computing area that student can choose. So apart from the IT master that I just mentioned earlier in the slide, that student don't need any background to get into this. While if a student has a background of the IT and they want to do something more specific, then they can choose our, for example, network and cybersecurity system, data science, or AI, etc. These are some more new courses that we design for students. Considering that moving forward, these areas will become more and more important and applicable to other industries as well. And the demand of those professionals will be increasing and increasing in the future. So we are opening these courses to to answer the demand of the future workforce, and also to give more options for students. If they have some background and want to do more specifically in those areas, then they can choose one of our new master programs in IT and computer science to further pursue their career. And also for engineering management, that this is some other quite special course in the engineering field. So apart from those specializations that I just list about like civil engineering, biomedical engineering, etc., we also got a very specific or quite special program called engineering management, designed for engineering managers. So there are many engineering projects and work going on around the world. And apart from engineering professionals, we also need managers to manage across different industry sectors, and also to work with other professionals to oversee the complex engineering projects. So we will need some talents from the field, not only the engineering special program or knowledge, they will also need management knowledge to become the engineering managers. So this is kind of a engineering field MBA, the kind of an MBA program in engineering. So it's good for students who have some background in engineering or have some experience in engineering or related fields, and they want to move up in their career path. Then this is very good for them to kind of like enhance their management side of the skills and knowledge, and adding their engineering specialties in order to become the managers of these fields. So we have graduate diploma and master options for our mainly students having background will be directly entered to the master program, and the English requirement is the basic one, IELTS overall 6 with 6 in writing and speaking. So this is also a very good option for students, especially if they have already got maybe an engineering program that is EA Engineer Australia accredited, then they want to do something more that is quite special comparing to other units, then the engineering management is one of the options that they can go for. So this is something that we offer newly for our students as well, to give them more options and to answer or to better prepare for the future demand or the future workforce, how they look like in the future, and to maximize their job opportunities. So this is coming to the end of my introduction, or the update and catch up of the study areas and key selling points of Flinders University. Again, feel free to pop onto, for example, our YouTube or Facebook or Twitter and IG channels that some of the videos that I just shared in the chat box is in the YouTube channel that please feel free to follow. We will be posting all the new things on the website. For example, today, in the Instagram, our IG, we have our current Master of Social Work students having stories and posts behind the scene to show the live experience of what she's going to experience as a Flinders student in a Master of Social Work. So on and off, we will have this kind of thing on our social media channels. Feel free to follow so that you can have a more concrete idea of what students are experiencing on campus, or while they are studying in Australia, or while they are studying in Adelaide, Flinders University, or even they are doing online at the moment in their home country. We will have those excellent stories on our channels. So thank you very much today for your time, and hopefully I control the time just okay. And
Yes.
yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you again.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mandy. It was a really great and very detailed presentation. So I'm sure that a lot of you guys here have a lot of questions, particularly for these are very hot topic, very hot courses for Australian for Australian education. Those who want to study in Australia. So I've got some question, but let me just jump to one of our attendance question. So it's about Master of Social Work. So she actually have a student that wanted to apply for Master of Social Work before and got refused. She has so the student has the background in Bachelor of Health Science outside of Australia, but cannot get the enrollment into Master of Social Work at Flinders because it requires some prerequisites. I think 1 year of social science, if I remember correctly. So yeah, she's asking if so for so her question here is that do you accept the offshore student who also who already has visa and study online from offshore? That's the first question. Yeah, so we can start from there, and then I'm gonna go through her other question as well.
Okay, so first of all, I think the question is that I think first of all about the rejected case, I would suggest maybe if the application is already in, maybe Ivy, would you mind sending me that particular student's file, and I will have a look and see what I can suggest to the student, because if she has a health science background, that if she's interested in some other courses that may be even better for her, or maybe I will have a look on the assessment. So maybe for that particular case, Ivy, maybe please, would you mind letting me know outside this webinar, then we can have a chat on how we can better help the student in terms of her option. And the other question is about the online study. So as long as student is offshore, so if student is currently outside Australia, then, and if the course is available to study online, we will be like student will be studying online. But of course, if they're in Australia, then we will expect them to come to Adelaide because we are open.
Yes. Yeah, of course. So for I just want to elaborate more. Maybe like if the student is applying for, let's say, like nursing, or like some courses from social work that require like practical learning, or like practice in a clinic or something like that. So would the student have to be onshore to study those courses, or they can take like some online courses first, and then once the border open, then they can travel to Australia and study?
Okay, so it really depends on different intakes. So for example, the 2022 March next year intake, that technically we haven't got the final announcement from the colleges yet. So, but taking reference to this year, for example, March intake this year, it really, first of all, it really depends on different courses, because they may have, some of them may have placement later in the study plan, some of them may have earlier. So it really depends. And for example, social work for our students starting in March intake, and also last year July intake, they start online to do some like a theoretical topic first, and but later on, whether they can come, or if they cannot come, whether we can adjust the study plan to try to let them study those theoretical topic first. This will really depending on at that time what will happen. So, but for March intake students, they have been starting online, which for July, it will be highly likely that students are starting online as well. And then for nursing, that in semester 1, students are starting online for theoretical topics as well. But for next year, we are not sure how for example, college, and also we need to check with the accreditation body, because they are the one to control whether online is also count or not count. So we will need to, the college, we need to talk to them as well to make sure if we are offering online, they are recognizing that, because otherwise, if that's the case, then we won't be offering, because if they don't recognize, we definitely not offering not to make students do extra study that they need not to do. So this is another thing that we will need to see what will happen or what will change. But for this year, they are doing this. And also I would suggest at the moment to launch the application and do the assessment as per normal. And if we have any updates or anything that we need to inform students, that at least they are already in our system, that we know who is in what stage of which program, then we can channel the correct information to those students directly.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's clarified your concern. So Megan just sent us the application. I'm not sure if you're referring to the same student that you sent us before, but if it's the different student, let us know like more detail of the application, and Mandy and us will happy to look more into that along with the admissions as well. So while I'm waiting for the other question coming up, I have several questions for you, actually, Mandy. So for the graduate entry nursing 2 years, is it recognized? Yeah, that's the first question I have for you.
Yeah. So for the nursing program, both the 2-year and the 3-year are recognized by the and NMBA, the nursing board. It's just because of the entry is based on the previous qualification the student has. So if they have bachelor, go to the 2-year. If they don't have, go to the 3-year. So both of them are recognized.
Yeah. Also, I remember you mentioned about the health to go, Flinders Health to go. So that is kind of like a clinic placement for the student, right? So is it in terms of that for health science, like let's say like Bachelor of Health Science in general, would the student have to finish like some certain amount of hours for placement before they can graduate?
So first of all, for this health to go clinic is like a clinic on campus that student, not necessarily everyone will have placement there, because they will also be, it's also very important for students to have different exposure in other health settings. But this one will be a very good environment for our students to have like clinical observation or clinical experience apart from placement, or maybe part of the placement will be there as well, and also to interact with other professions. So the Flinders Health to Go is very like a perfect environment for our health science students. And for the hours that they need to do, and it would really depend on the course that they are doing. For example, if it depends on what specific course. For example, for health sciences, that it may depend in which major or specialization they are in, or if they have a speech pathology that is recognized by the accreditation body, later on they can be registered as the speech pathologist. Then of course in their program, it will be compulsory certain hours of placement in the course so that we make sure our graduates will be eligible for applying for the therapist status after graduation. Yeah, so it will depend on different courses. They will have certain placement in their program.
Yeah. So and the student and us, our agent panel, can also check that in the course outline as well, right?
Yeah, so on our website, on our website, if you look at the will study program or program of study, it will list out every single subject that the student need to do in each semester. Then you can look, and if you click on the subject code, then every single subject will detail out, like, is that a placement, is that a workshop, seminar, lecture, and how many hours. They will all detail on the website.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So I think we have some question coming up. All right. So do you accept international student with second division if they meet in English test? Not too sure what they mean by second division means.
Is that combined score? I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure about that as well.
Yeah, Basnet, if you can elaborate more about your question, that would be great. So let me just move on to the next question. So what is the scholarship requirements, and particularly for Vietnamese students? If you can perhaps like share a little bit.
Okay, so for scholarship, it will, so first of all, we have the undergraduate and postgraduate. So for undergraduate will be, all these will be applicable. And then it depends on the course that the student is applying for, and also the qualification the student holds, and also the marks that the student has. So it will, it depends on which one they are applying for. And, but I can show you that, let me just have a think about what I should
I think I have the ATAR score here.
Yeah. So do you have, maybe let me have a, do you have that?
20%, which is the global scholarship. The ATAR requirement is 70 for ATAR. And like that's for undergraduate, and the postgraduate would be 5.0 GPA overall.
Yeah, maybe I will just bring up another slide that I prepared, so that it's easier to illustrate what we need for the scholarship. Just bear with me 1 second, see whether I can share that to you. Okay. Yep. So. Yep. So basically, we have the 3 scholarships for undergraduate. And sorry about, I don't have the Vietnamese comparison, but you may take this as an example. If it's an Australian ATAR, then how can we assess? So if you look at this table, that basically for those courses that require 80 or above, as long as they meet the entry requirement, they automatically will get the scholarship. Yep. So if you think in that idea, over 88 requirement courses, if they have the entry requirement met, they will automatically at least get 25%.
25, yeah.
Yeah. So for the courses that have a lower entry requirement, then they will need to have 5 ATAR points higher than the requirement. So for example, if they have 70, they apply for this low ATAR requirement course, then they will get the 20%. And it depends on what score they get, and also what are the courses they're applying for. But don't worry too much about the what are requirements, because we have the comparison table for Vietnamese year 12 or high school as well. So we have that table to convert the ATAR to Vietnamese high school students. And also, but the main idea will be for higher ATAR requirement courses, as long as they meet the entry, they automatically get at least 25%. And for the lower ones, that it depends on what course they are applying for, and whether they get 5 points higher than that requirement. And then for postgraduate will be mainly the, as you said, the GPA 5 for the 20%, and GPA 6.5 for the 50%. And again, we will convert the GPA if their scale is not in a 7-point scale.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, I think Basnet has clarified. So yes, so academic result is in combined, and he mean second division means 50% to 59.99%.
Oh, you mean the GPA, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So again, it depends on what course they are going to apply for. As I mentioned, just bear with me, maybe I'll just bring up the slide as well for the GPA requirement. So if a student got, sorry about this, as I mentioned, I should be removing that because we recently have been updated about the GPA requirement for medicine. So if a student got 50, is that to 59, so around 60.
Yeah, 60.
So so this will actually, we need to also see the grading scale of that particular university, because for example, some UK university, they have the passing mark of 40 while we have 50, so it's different. So we have to see the actual transcript and also the grading scale. Usually it's at the back of the transcript. We need to see both so as to convert that particular university's score, what is our requirement. So it depends on, and also see whether the student is applying for courses that we needing a GPA requirement. For example, if they are applying for IT, business, or like engineering, biotechnology, we don't have GPA requirement, that as long as they have a bachelor degree, meet the entry requirement, then that's okay.
Yeah, so particularly to your question, if you can please let our RMM know, Regional Marketing Manager, so we can help you, assist you with like further clarification to your students particularly. So yeah, so that is done. Okay, this question is about the pathway student. So last year, as you know, Flinders, they stopped the cooperation with study group for pathway. So I think now for all the pathway program is under Flinders University management itself. So here's the question: do you still accept pathway students? That's the first. Second is that if the student applying for like package foundation and bachelor degree, would that be possible, and which major would be available for the students?
Okay, that's good you asked the question. Thank you for that. We definitely accept pathway students. We currently are interimly working with Ansbury College to provide the foundation program for our students if they don't meet a direct entry requirement. And also in moving forward, we are also still waiting for the senior management's finalized proposal or the plan about our partnership with different providers. But interimly, definitely student can still go ahead with the pathway package. So the operational procedure will be, if you have student applying for bachelor degree and they may not meet the direct entry requirement, they still lodge the application to Flinders first. So first step, please contact Yes Education to lodge the bachelor degree application first to Flinders. So when we receive that, we will have a look to make sure whether the student can get direct entry or not. Because if the student can get direct entry, we won't make the student to do unnecessary extra study. So we are the first one to assess to make sure whether they can get in directly or not. If they cannot really cannot directly get into our program, then we will work with Ansbury to see whether student will be eligible for a foundation entry, and then there will be a package offer to students. So no matter whether the student is meeting or not meeting, please submit to Flinders first, and we will organize later on. And regarding the bachelor options, most of our courses, I think, is about, apart from medicine, majority of our courses can package with the foundation.
Yeah, so let me just quickly pop in the link of Ansbury Foundation program. So you guys can click in this link to see more of the details about the foundation study. If you have any other questions regarding to like other providers pathway, or if you're not sure which pathway for foundation and bachelor's would Flinders accept, just ask us and we'll get back to you. Okay, so graduating nursing entry 2 years is recognized, but is it possible to get registered as RN with the AHPRA?
Yes, that one is recognized. Yeah, that one is recognized. So it's but of course, student will need to still meet the APRA requirements, because they may have some other requirement like English and other stuff that student will still need to meet that. But in terms of academic qualification, our program is definitely recognized. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just remember this one. So you mentioned that for public health, I see that Flinders doesn't offer UG for public health, only master. So let's say if the student would like to study public health or something related for UG, which program would you recommend?
Public health, actually, if I'm not mistaken, we have newly opened the public health bachelor degree. Let me
Okay.
just, yes, good for you to ask this question.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on the website either, so I'm not sure if you.
Okay, let me just have a quick check. It should be either available or will be available very soon. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so I think that one should be available. Let me share the screen again. So I need to check whether anyone is booking the room. It's a little bit.
No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the Bachelor of Public Health that is quite new. That normally, yes, we have the Master, and now we have Bachelor of Public Health as well. And this is available for international students. So yeah, feel free to lodge application for this as well.
Perfect.
We have that.
Yeah, perfect. About the social work, with the student, the intensive placement, would the student do that during the study session, or would that be during the break, like a term break?
So it really depends on the schedules, because what we usually say is that the placement thing is like a non-semester study or non-semester topic, which means that it's not necessarily within the particular set semester dates. So it really depends on how. Let me just have a look, see whether we have anything to be sharing with you to have a more concrete example. Just bear with me 1 second to see whether there's any more information that let me have a look. Yes, so okay, so I can share with you this screen as well, which is on our website. That feel free to have a look on our website. So I can share with you how we reach this page. So if we have, is sharing the Flinders screen, right? The website, right? Okay. So when we are looking at different courses, for example, if we are looking at social work, then we can click the social work under the Flinders International website, and then we can choose the program. For example, now we are looking at the social work master graduate entry course. So this is the course information page that contains the detailed information about the program and also selling points. And if you want to look more details, then we have this one here, view study program, that this is the more detailed information for students to look if they want to know more. Then this is the
like
very
which class they're gonna take.
Yes, so for example, is every single subject that they need to take is all in the list. And then, for example, if I want to know the placement detail, then I can click on this subject. Then you can you are directed to the page of the detailed information. For example, then this one tell you about for this first placement, how many placement in a week that the student will need to do. And then here are the timetable for this particular academic year. For example, okay, for semester 2, which is coming up now, that student internally, they will do placement. Oh, okay, actually it's quite early from July, which technically we start in late July. So this is already before the usual start date of the semester. So student will be starting earlier for the placement. And then these are all detailed out, like what are the placement arrangements. Then until, actually it's until December, which is after the standard semester's end date. So this is kind of like we call non-standard semester end as non-standard, which means that they may not be falling between the normal semester days, because for placement, definitely it will be something different.
Understood. Very well organized and shown here. Yes, thank you very much, Mandy.
No worries.
I think that's it for, we have one more question. Does your campus accommodation already including meals? And if the student opt to eat outside, is there any option for just the accommodation only?
Oh, okay. So maybe I also bring up again the website, because they have like there more information on the website that student is interested, they can so on our website, if we click on the let me have a look, see whether Just bear with me 1 second.
No worries.
Yeah. And let me have a look, see whether, or another quick way of doing that is to just search it, because
Yeah,
sometimes
I do that all the time.
yeah, sometimes they change
Yeah.
the link that
Yeah.
I sometimes I can't remember where they are. Yeah, for example, if you just search Flinders Living, so there is a Flinders Living information on the website that they give you the idea of what options the student will have. So mainly if they want to have the meals included in the plan, then they can choose University Hall is like a including the meals plans in the fees. But of course, if students want to eat out, then for example, in our campus, we have different restaurants options, and also like a shopping center, just 10-minute bus ride, then they will also have like heaps of options in the shopping center, and also some small shopping center around the campus as well. So there are quite a lot of options. And also all students can cook by themselves. It's also okay that they have the common kitchen area that they can do it.
Yeah, that's great. So you can take a look more into the website. University Hall has the option for both meals and lodging. Whereas if you're a student only want to stay, then please look into more options on the website as well, and also can ask us as well. Yes, so I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much, Mandy, for your great time and supporting us with our agent partner today. I'm sure in the future we will have more updates, and it's good to know that Adelaide got the pilot program approved from the federal government. We also have some students coming to study in Adelaide very soon. So hopefully we can get some more students to Flinders Uni in the soonest time as possible. So thank you very much, Mandy.
Thank you,
would you mind to send me the PPT afterwards so that we can share it to our agent partner?
No worries, I will definitely share with you. But because I'm like rushing off today, tomorrow or next week I will share with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mandy.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.